Now that you have understand them, you can start to take better photos and it will be an absolute delight to watch your clicks. Hey, I'm Yas from Leftist Lab Imagery, where we help you to use simple techniques so that you can take better photos. Oh, by the way, we are living through some difficult times at the moment. I certainly hope that you and your family are doing well and healthy. Just like you, I'm practicing my social responsibility by staying at home. So I took the opportunity to shoot this entire video in my house. Today's weapon of choice is the iPhone 11 Pro. Let's get it. The iPhone 11 Pro comes with a set of 3 cameras: the standard wide, the new ultra wide, and telephoto. I'll show you how these cameras works in a minute, but first, let's go through the settings quickly. Press and hold or haptic press the camera icon to activate your camera on the lock screen. Or you could just slide the lock screen to the left to also activate the camera. In preserve settings, these 3 toggles allows you to preserve or keep the last camera mode, lighting, filters, or live photo settings you've used so they are not reset when you next open your camera. Next, I would recommend that you turn on the grid to assist you in aligning or leveling your images. By turning this on, you'll notice that there will be 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lines combined to form up 9 rectangle boxes in your camera screen. I would also turn on the scan QR codes right there. And now let's dive into video settings. The newer iPhone models are now capable of shooting up to 4K 60 frames per second. What that means is it's a better quality for your video dynamic range, color, and contrast. Just know that this quality, however, will take up space in your phone storage. Now, of course, we want to make the best out of our iPhones, right? A simple storage solution is for you to download Google Photos. This app backs up unlimited photos and videos and is free. The slow motion tab gives you the option of recording 120 frames per second or up to 240 frames per second. Turning on record stereo sound will allow the phone to record more of the surrounding sound. Turning it off will record the sound of what is close to the device, like if you only want your voice to be heard in the video. If you are using a Windows program computer, you might want to option for the most compatible in format settings. The reason for this is the high efficiency format option mostly are only compatible on Apple iOS devices and computers. A new remarkable feature called Capture Outside Frame allows you to add in more data to your video or photos. By turning this on, you could bring in more information to the photo or videos while editing them. Another useful setting to have on is the HDR, aka High Dynamic Range. Enabling this setting would elevate your average photo to an extraordinary shot. Let's check out the available field of view. When you turn on the camera app, the standard wide or 1x will automatically be activated. Apple introduced the ultra-wide lens or the 0.5x in the newer iPhones to allow you to capture a wider field of view. The 2x or telephoto lens capture a closer view of your subject. Hold down on either of the number icons and the zoom rocker will appear. Dragging the rocker allows you to zoom anywhere from 0.5x up to 10x. However, the moment you pass 2x, you'll notice a significant image quality degrading. For me, I stay at 1x most of the time for the best results in quality. Now, the iPhone autofocus works reliably well, but you could also lock focus and control exposure for better results. The way to do this is to press and hold on your subject to lock focus. Then adjust the exposure slider. The AE and AF lock will appear on the screen to confirm that both parameters are locked. The most common way to trigger a photo is, of course, to press the shutter button on the camera screen. Perhaps you might have already know, but there are several other ways on how you can trigger the shutter to take a photo. Like you can make use of the timer option to gives you an allowance between 3 and 10 seconds before the photo is taken. Certainly comes in handy in those situations where you need to be in the frame but there's nobody else to trigger the shutter. Press the arrow down key to get to the clock icon to activate the timer. You could also use the volume button to trigger the shutter to take a photo. I like this option as it gives me a steadier grip while I'm taking a shot. Less shake means better photos, right? Remember this earpiece that comes with your phone? Pressing the volume button while it's attached to the device will take a photo too. One of the photography genre that I enjoy doing the most is street photography. It's definitely fun and challenging, and sometimes you need to be really candid to shoot that moment in time. Like being invisible. Yeah. So having this function where I can trigger my photos right from the earpiece definitely helps. Press and hold the shutter button to take a short video. And release to stop. Press and hold and drag it to the right to shoot a video continuously. You could also take a photo while you are shooting the video. Drag it to the left and it will go into burst mode where it will take multiple photographs which you can choose later. Now let's get into photos captured outside frame. First, go to your settings and make sure that the photos captured outside frame toggle is turned on. This new remarkable feature that Apple introduced into the 11 and 11 Pro models allows the user to get more information into the photo. However, I realized a problem. In this demo, I tried taking a photo using the 4:3 aspect ratio. Well, that doesn't allow me to bring in more information into the frame when I try to edit it. A solution that I found out through try and error, I then changed the aspect ratio to 16:9. And I tried to take a similar shot where I deliberately missed out the lower part of the doll. You might notice that I've left the lower part of the photo on purpose. We'll try to bring it back in Edit. Press Edit, go to Crop. This is where the magic happens. By dragging the frame up or down, you could bring in more information into the photo. Amazing, isn't it? And once you are done, press Done. And now the lower part of the photo is in frame. Drop me a comment below if you are able to do this on the 4:3 aspect ratio, or if there's anything in capture outside frame that I have missed out. We'll learn from each other. Apple's diffusion will give you the best details in a photo as much as possible. There is no toggle to turn the function on though. Instead, for diffusion to work, you need to turn off photo capture outside frame toggle. Diffusion works by blending together multiple exposures to create a higher detail than the standard HDR. Let's make a comparison between a photo that is shot on diffusion and the one that is not. Take a look on the significant difference on Vampirina's face when zoomed in, with the one on the left was shot on diffusion mode as the metadata suggests. In portrait mode, the camera app lets you know when you are too close or too far away from your subject, or if the area is too dark. The focus area around your subject will turn yellow when your subject is in focus. When portrait mode is ready, the name of the lighting effect such as natural light will also turn yellow. Tap the depth control button at the top of the screen to adjust the background blurriness. Then drag the slider left or right to adjust the effect. And I'm gonna use my earpiece to trigger this photo. You could also adjust the level of the background blur and the portrait lighting effects after you've taken the photo. All you need to do is to choose a portrait mode photo in your photo library, tap Edit on the depth control button or the portrait lighting button to adjust your photo accordingly. For some self-loving selfie portrait, all you need to do is just tap the camera swipe button to switch to the front-facing camera. No, I'm not a selfie person, but here's an experiment I ran by with the 6 different lighting modes. The camera app will either suggest night mode or automatically turns it on when lighting conditions are poor. Focus your attention on the moon icon on the bottom left of the screen. When I totally shut down my main lighting, the moon icon turns yellow and is ready to shoot night mode. Hold still and tap the shutter. For a longer exposure, you could tap on the moon icon to reveal a slider that let you adjust the amount of time during which a photo is taken. Now you really need to hold the phone steady during this process. For good results, I would suggest using a tripod. Live photos is essentially great for moving subjects in the photo you want to capture, like this waterfall in my computer. All you need to do is just to turn on the live mode by tapping the circle icon on the top right of your phone, and you'll see the word live appear in yellow. What I love about it is you could convert your captures into cool short videos or photo. Now with the live mode on, I'll shoot the waterfall scene on my computer. Then I'll go to the photo on the bottom left. When I slide up the photo, I have the option to either make a loop or a bounce effect video. Cool, huh? The loop effect will keep on repeating the capture to make it look like one long continuous video. While the bounce effect will play and reverse the capture, well, kind of like the boomerang in your Instagram. But my personal favorite is the long exposure. Look what happens when I choose this option. It gives the long exposure silky cotton candy-like effect to the water. The other cool function of the live photo is you could select the frame that you want to keep as your main photo. Let me show you what I mean. Take the live photo and press Edit. There will be a video play control toggle appearing at the bottom. Swipe left or right to choose your desired key photo. Maybe like this one. There are situations when the view is just too big to fit into one photo. Now this is where your panorama mode comes to play. Choose the field of view on your panel mode. You could choose to move the direction left to right, or vice versa, or up to down. All you need to do now is to press the record button and follow the direction of the arrow while keeping your device as steady as possible. Bottom line, the panorama mode accentuates a wide perspective of the scene, like shooting a landscape for example. You can now quickly change the resolution of your video in the camera app without going to settings. Tap the frame rate and resolution on the top right corner of your screen to change them while you are in your video mode. Change the frame rate to suit your subject and where you are posting them. For instance, if you are shooting for the purpose of posting to social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook, 30 frames per second is good. Use 60 frames per second for shooting activities with lots of motions like sports. The most popular shots for time-lapse often involve traffic, people, or the sky. The reason why they work well is that they create beautiful moving patterns on the screen. To create an effective time-lapse, try to record at least 30 minutes worth of footage. Since your phone is taking photos, not videos, the end product will only be a few seconds long. And most importantly, use a tripod, or at least keep your device as still as possible. Shooting a slow motion video with your iPhone simply means slowing down the frame rate so that times appear to be moving at a slower rate within the video. Let's talk about frame rate for slow motion video. 120 frames per second is good for stretching at a moment in time, like using it to analyze the swing of your hockey stick, for example. 240 frames per second is super slow motion, where 1 second of recording is equivalent approximately to 10 seconds in playback. Utilize it for a scene that our eyes don't usually catch, like how balloons fill with water bursts. And speaking of which, simple rule of thumb is slow motion works well when there are a lot of movements in the scene that you are shooting. And now you could also do slow motion selfies called slowies. Well, I look funny in that one. If you realize by now, these tips helps you to understand your iPhones better. Now that you have understand them, you can start to take better photos, and it will be an absolute delight to watch your clicks without fumbling too much on the phone functions. Hey, do share with me your photos by tagging me in Instagram. Use the hashtag #LavelyGang. Oh, do drop your comments below on the topic or everything else for that matter. I hope you find value in this video. If you do, give that like button a slap, a lefty one if you will. And we are just starting out, and it will be very helpful if you can subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!